We're going to look at how you can access a podcast on your tablet. Podcasts are basically audio recordings of people talking about a range of different topics. You can get comedy podcasts, podcasts on cycling, on history, on science. So there's loads of different topics you can choose from and something for everyone. The easiest way to access a podcast on your tablet is through the Google Podcast app. The app is free to download from the Play Store if you just search for Google Podcasts, and it looks like this. Once you've got the app downloaded and it opens up, it will look like this. You'll notice there's a menu down at the bottom, and in the middle of the menu is the Explore button. If you click on Explore, it will take you to this page here where you can browse lots of different categories. There's podcasts on education if you want to learn something new. There's comedy podcasts if you want a bit of a laugh. Podcasts on technology to learn something. Health and fitness, science, history. The list is endless. If I click on the science category, you'll see it will suggest little squares up at the top for me. Each of these squares is a series of podcasts, sort of like a TV program. If I click on one of the squares, so for example, the Science Weekly square, it will then load up all the podcasts that Science Weekly have created. So here I can see that they've got 198 different podcasts in their series. And the most recent one was recorded and released 10 hours ago. And the next one was 5 days previous to that. If there's a particular podcast that I like the sound of once I've read the information about it, to get it to play, all I have to do is click on the little play icon. So for example, if I click here, it tells me that this podcast is 12 minutes long. And if I click on the play icon, it will start playing and I will be able to hear the podcast. If I want to get the podcast to stop, I simply tap the same button again and it will pause it. If I want to download the podcast so that I can listen to it maybe when I'm out in the car or out for a walk, I can click on the little download icon just here and it will download the podcast onto my tablet for me so that I don't need to have Wi-Fi then in order to listen to it at a later date. What I can also do is if I particularly like this series of podcasts and I want to be notified when there's a new one released, I can click on the subscribe button just up here. What will happen then is when this particular series releases a new podcast, I'll be notified about it here in my homepage. You can subscribe to lots of different podcasts and as I said, they will appear here on your home screen when there's a new episode released. Some podcasters release an episode every day, some maybe once a week or some once a month. It just depends. If there's something in particular you'd like to search for a podcast on, again, if you look in the Explore category, what you can do is use the search bar at the top and search for a particular topic. So if you're maybe interested in fishing or gardening or knitting, you can just do a search up here. So I'm going to do a search for fishing. And here you'll see lots of different podcasts focused on fishing being displayed for me. So I can scroll down through the list here to get different podcasts from different producers and see if any of them are of interest to me. So there's ones on fishing in the Pacific, on fly fishing, lots of different options there for me. If there's a particular podcast producer that I like, so let's say for instance this one here, then I can go in and see all of the episodes that particular person has created and listen back to previous episodes just by scrolling down. They'll always be in date order, so the newer podcasts will always be at the top with the older ones going down towards the bottom. And you can listen back to any of them. There are also some podcasts which you can get directly from websites or other apps. So, for instance, BBC Sounds is another option for listening to podcasts, and it has all the podcasts from the BBC Radio stations on there. So BBC Radio Ulster, BBC Radio 1, 2, 3 and 4. You'll be able to find any podcast released from BBC through the BBC Sounds app. Again, this app is free to download from the Play Store, and once you download it, it will load up and look like this. You'll see if you scroll your finger along the top just here from left to right, it allows you to scan through all the BBC radio stations. So if I keep scanning until I find BBC Radio Ulster, just there, and it tells you what show is on live right now. If I wanted to listen to that show, I would just tap just here on the picture of the show, and it will start playing the current show live for me through my tablet. If you want to see the schedule for what's on the radio previously today or what's coming up next, you can click just here where it says stations and schedules, and it will then show you the schedule for Radio Ulster. So I can see that coming up next is Even an Extra, and previously Hugo Duncan would have been on. If I want to listen back to any of the shows from this morning that I missed, I can simply click on the little play icon just here to the right of the picture. So if I wanted to play a talk back from today, I would click on the little icon, the little play icon just to the right of the picture there, and that would play that episode back for me. What I can also do is listen back to previous episodes of a show that I've missed. So again, if I click on the talk back picture here, I'll then click on See More Episodes, and it will give me all the previous episodes of that particular show. Again, if I see one that I want to listen to, I simply click on the play icon over on the right hand side beside the date of the show that I want to listen to. And that's how you can play podcasts through your tablet.